Autoline Daily is brought to you by Siemens PLM Software, transforming the process of innovation.
Here are today's top headlines. Exxon calls for a carbon tax. Chrysler considers a car-based truck, and ArvinMeritor is not selling off all its car business. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Friday, January 9, and now the news. My, how the world has changed. The CEO of Exxon is calling for a carbon tax, the Wall Street Journal reports. Rex Tillerson, who's only been CEO since 2006, wants a carbon tax instead of a cap-and-trade system, which he calls complex and costly. Still, supporting a carbon tax puts the CEO of Exxon in the same camp as Al Gore and Ralph Nader, and that sure shows just how much this world done gone crazy. The Detroit News is saying that Chrysler is considering building a car-based truck to replace its mid-sized Dakota pickup. This could offer better fuel economy and still meet the needs of many truck buyers. The news comes on the heels of GM canceling the Pontiac G8 sport truck, and Mitsubishi is pulling the plug on its slow-selling pickup called the Raider, which is made by Chrysler. Our media partner Autoblog reports that Mitsubishi will share its MiEV plug-in electric vehicle with Peugeot, which will be available in Europe sometime in 2011. The MiEV goes on sale in Japan later this year with an expected production run of just 2,000 units. The all-new Mazda 3 that goes on sale globally this year will be the world's first application of single nano-catalyst technology in catalytic converters. The new catalyst reduces the amount of costly precious metals used in the converter by 70%. ArvinMeritor is not going to spin off all of its passenger car business due to the industry slump. According to the Detroit Free Press, ArvinMeritor plans to keep its wheel business, but it is preparing to sell its body and chassis businesses. And here's one I just couldn't resist. Autoblog is carrying a story on this product from the Consumer Electronics Show. It's called Sound Racer. You plug it into the cigarette lighter and it pumps the sound of a powerful V8 through the car's speakers. Hit the gas pedal and it sounds like the engine is revving. Autoblog suggests it's the perfect accessory for people who own hybrid cars. Coming up next, a preview of this week's episode of Autoline Detroit. We'll be back right after this.
Siemens, transforming the process of innovation.
On this week's Autoline, I sit down with three journalist colleagues to talk about blogging and how that's changing the automotive media business. Joining me for this is John Neff from Autoblog, Chris Pockert, formerly from Winding Road, but now with Autoblog, and Mike Duchesne from Car and Driver. Here's a short preview in which we talk about the embargoes automakers put on information and how it gets leaked out anyway.
And I think there's the assumption that when embargoes break, it's usually because of a blog, and that's sort of an unfortunate thing that I think we've all had to work against. And leaks come from everywhere. Leaks come from a brochure at a dealership that got out early that's being scanned onto the internet and ends up at a website in Malaysia. Leaks come from a disgruntled employer or something in a factory somewhere.
Just the very nature of the internet produces leaks. A great example is Honda. Honda has always done media programs where they invite journalists to preview their vehicles. And these are on public roads, and they're based at at hotels. And before the internet, there's a reasonable expectation that they could do that, and 2 months later, no one really would have seen the car. Well, now Honda does those events, and that same day, people take pictures, they resell them through Brenda Pretty and Company, and they're all over the internet. And that's no one's fault. That's just a reality. That's a reality of how media works. And so the car companies have to rethink how they disseminate information to match that reality.
And remember, if you want to hear the rest of my interview with these mavens of new media, you can watch the entire episode of Autoline Detroit on our website right now. Also, this week's trivia question asked, what's the automotive definition of tumble home? Is it the vortex created by a swirling air-fuel mixture? Is it something that happens when you've had a few too many at the bar? Is it the inward slope of a vehicle's greenhouse? Or is it an engineering term for how a seat folds? And the correct answer is, it's the slope of a vehicle's greenhouse. Now, as you all know, last time Pookie was on strike, and he's forced me to cave into his demands, which means I have to pay him with a candy cane. The envelope, please. The winner of this week's prize, which is a cool Saturn Astra messenger bag and an Autoline t-shirt, is Jay Makovich of Los Angeles, California. Congratulations, Jay Makovich. Anyway, that's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. But don't forget, we'll be broadcasting live from the Detroit Auto Show this weekend. You'll be able to watch at our website, AutolineDaily.com. That's Sunday, January 11th and Monday, January 12th at noon and at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Anyway, that is it for today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Sunday.
Visit our website for even more great content all week long. Autoline Extra, Don's Journal, podcasts, and even more. So click over and get the inside view at AutolineDetroit.tv.